corresponding period of last year.
He also reveals that the reactivation of one of the command's moribund terminals, increased compliance and increased cargo throughput are among the factors that have contributed to such an increase in revenue generation by the command. He discloses again that the command now has the approval for export processing terminal, which places it in a good position to facilitate export trade, thus generating more revenue in due course. In the area of suppression of smuggling, the Kirikiri Lighter Terminal Command has in the first half of the year 2022 intercepted 4 by 40 foot containers, with the most recent being 2 by 40 foot containers, which Comptroller Women reveals to members of the media, while taking them round the containers, that they were falsely declared, hence liable to seizure.
Behind me here, we have a container declared falsely as filter paper. Upon examination, it was discovered to contain mosquito coils and other items including assorted chemicals. Now, mosquito coil is a prohibited item in the federal government fiscal policy under Schedule 3 of the ECOWAS Common External Tariff. Apart from being a prohibited item, it is also an item that has proven deleterious to human health. As it is now, we don't know what kind of chemicals have been mixed to make these products. There is no regulatory approval and it is prohibited. Now, container of assorted footwear declared as water closets, but on examination it was discovered to contain footwear. Now, footwear is a prohibited item under Schedule 3 of the ECOWAS Common External Tariff. Now, in order to evade customs procedures, federal government regulations, the importer has declared it as a different item.
The Customs Area Controller uses the medium to reassure compliant stakeholders of commitment of Nigeria Customs Service to assessing legality and discouraging illegality as the service implements federal government's fiscal policy.
Nigeria Customs Service, as one of its core mandates, trade facilitation, we're here to improve the international trade flow and assist our importers who are making truthful declarations. But for non-compliant declarations, we will not relent in making seizures, in arresting the perpetrators, and also prosecuting them.
While acknowledging the continued support to the command by the Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali, retired, and his management team as a major contributing factor to the success of his command, Comptroller Hamid Women pledges to continue his command's effective collaboration with stakeholders, as well as maintaining the fruitful synergy with other units of the Nigeria Customs Service and relevant sister agencies, with a view to doing much better in the second half of 2022 in general operations.
Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Intel 4G.
Intel. Live more.
The need to improve the quality and quantity of goods and services available for consumption in Nigeria is critical in increasing total wealth and improving our well-being.
The National Productivity Center has the mandate to impact productivity consciousness in all sectors of the Nigerian economy, as well as build skills and competences for the enhancement of national and international competitiveness.
Productivity is teamwork. Let us join hands together to make Nigeria a productive and prosperous nation.
National Productivity Center, promoting productivity in our nation.
Music is fuel that fires up our souls.
Oshun, where the APC lost. But we have to look at the causes. We saw what happened at Osun, and we are promising the membership of our party that the outcome of this meeting is going to create a lot of differences.
APC takes talk on Osun governorship election, strategizes ahead of 2023 just as NNPP presidential candidate formally unveils running mate.
Where a victim dies in the process, then automatically those that kidnap him also for the death penalty.
Kidnappers to face death sentence as correspondent evaluates Anti-Terrorism Act Amendment Bill 2022 signed into law.
This is going to impact the economy by 1.3 to 2%.
Also tonight, federal government concessions on Nisha River Port in view of more economic viability. Hello and thank you for joining us on Network News of Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. We are live in Abuja. I am Kene Ima Aborike. Michael Olaleye is in our Lagos Network Center and Obehi Otobo Apresari is in Benin. Don't forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website nta.ng/live and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen for updates. Let's start with politics as the All Progressives Congress says it has submitted the details of all its candidates to the INEC portal ahead of the 2023 general elections. National Organizing Secretary of the party, Suleiman Argungu, disclosed this at a strategic meeting with zonal and state organizing secretaries in Abuja. Salihu Gwanara reports.
Although the APC leadership says it is still studying the outcome of the just concluded Osun gubernatorial election, these stakeholders have agreed that now is the time for the party to retrace its steps and develop more winning strategies.
We saw what happened at Osun, and we are promising the membership of our party that the outcome of this meeting is going to create a lot of differences in the forthcoming election.
By the wisdom of his leadership, he has also guided us how we are going back to our various localities to see how we reconcile our differences.
It's a step in the right direction, and I hope it will continue.
The National Organizing Secretary, Suleiman Argungu, says reconciliation among party members is a daily routine by the national leaders.
Oshun, where the APC lost, but we have to look at the causes because we have a certain government and we believe something might have happened there, and that's why as organizing secretaries, we are the one that are merely responsible for organizing such things to ensure we explain what has happened.
As stakeholders, the state organizing secretaries have been urged to work hard towards uniting and encouraging members to obtain their permanent voters' cards. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
Presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has formally presented Bishop Isaac Dahosa as his running mate for the 2023 general election. The Edo-born running mate at the event expressed optimism that a new Nigeria will birth after the 2023 general election. David Ire reports.
Bishop Isaac Dahosa is from the south but had his education in the north, and his ministry is in the west. The presidential candidate and the party leadership, having considered the antecedents, capacity and ability to get quick results, selected the 57-year-old engineer among the 20 nominees for the vice presidential candidate position.
And bearing in mind that the country requires competent, credible, empathetic, courageous and God-fearing leaders, I came to the conclusion and therefore present you a rare Nigerian that very appropriately fit these requirements.
We take liberty at using every available opportunity to make the difference so as to earn the trust and confidence of Nigerians yearning for good governance and a qualitative leadership.
The vice presidential candidate says he is aware of the challenges ahead.
A fresh deal and a new deal that will empower Nigerian youths and women to be in the front line in leadership and governance. And it is we in the NNPP that are fully prepared and capable to offer this fresh new deal.
A book, Kwankwaso, A Political Allegory, was also launched and presented to the public during the event. In Abuja, David Ire, NTA News.
Meanwhile, as activities build up towards 2023 general elections, the Young Progressives Party is at the forefront of advocating inclusive politics at all levels of participation. This is coming against the backdrop of the continuous voters registration exercise. Yenre John reports.
Nigeria has had more than 2 decades experience of participatory democracy, with much progress achieved and more room for improvement. And to ensure these pitfalls are mended to add value to the democratic process, a new electoral act emerged with gains to count already.
The Electoral Act has improved the way I guess the electorate should feel. I certainly feel a lot more comfortable. We're not there yet, but we're getting there.
As the nation faces another cycle of election, the party is calling for massive participation, especially by the youths, to get involved into mainstream political administration of the country.
The more younger people come into politics and into the system, things will change as well.
The presidential candidate of the Young Progressive Party says the future of the nation lies in the hands of its citizens and appeals for unity in the interest of the country. In Abuja, Yenre John, NTA News.
Away from politics, a summit on curbing money laundering and terrorism financing in the West African sub-region is underway in Abuja. Participants will be reviewing recent efforts of various governments and exchange ideas on ways to evolve further collaborations to check illicit flow. Dele Atumbi reports.
The bane of development on the African continent is believed to have been attributed to money laundering by some politically exposed persons, thereby denying the region the needed infrastructural facilities. This has equally led to terrorism financing at the expense of the peace of the continent, jeopardizing its security and the people. To check the development, efforts have been put in place both in the past and now to rid the continent of money laundering and terrorism financing. The convergence of these experts is part of the effort to curb the trend.
The primary objective of this summit, therefore, is to promote awareness on emerging money laundering and terrorist financing risks, and to provide a platform for delegates to share experiences and foster cooperation and collaboration towards effective implementation of AMSFT preventive measures.
The trio of money laundering, terrorism financing, and proliferation financing have the potential to pose serious challenges to financial institutions' sound management and can even threaten their very survival. Therefore, as a supervisor, they matter to the central bank.
The summit expresses concern that 3 out of the top 10 countries in the 2022 Global Terrorism Index are from the West African sub-region.
Share experiences of best practices and establish a platform for effective coordination, cooperation, and engagement of competent authorities on how to effectively fight against money laundering and terrorism financing.
The impact of the expansion of the membership of the Lakeshard platform to 11 is also being assessed. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
In a related development, a multi-agency detection program on countering terrorism travel designed to respond to threats of terrorism and criminal activities across different borders has been initiated by the United Nations Office on Counter-terrorism. Aviation correspondent Emmanuel Ayimiro reports that the collaboration is to prevent criminals from evading detection by law enforcement agents.
2 years ago, the UN Office on Counter-terrorism estimated that over 40,000 foreign terrorist fighters from more than 110 countries may have crossed different borders to join terrorist groups in some countries. Since then, a counter-terrorism travel program to assist nations in building their capacity to dictate criminals by collecting and using advanced passenger information and passenger name record data have been launched. The whole idea
broken travel where
Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority responsible for regulating air travels in Nigeria.
So it not only improves security, it helps with facilitation. And also for us in aviation air transport, it gives us data.
There's a package we call suspect index. Suspect is a watch list, and through that database, our system is able to synchronize and give us alert that this is person of interest.
The counter-terrorism travel program is expected to extend to other modes of international travels, including marine and rail. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NT News.
On the 6th of April 2022, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Anti-Terrorism Act Amendment Bill 2022 into law. What is the implication of the new law? Ignatius Nko tells us.
In Nigeria, kidnapping for ransom has become an enterprise, a transaction that invariably leaves families of victims on the edge between the devil and the deep blue sea. Pay ransom and get the victim back, or pay the ransom and still lose the kidnapped. It has been estimated that between 2011 and 2022, at least 7 billion naira was paid as ransom to kidnappers in Nigeria. In December 2020, more than 300 school boys were kidnapped from their boarding school in Kankara, Katsina State. This was 6 years after 276 school girls were kidnapped in Chibok by Boko Haram. Just a few months ago, a Methodist prelate and other priests were kidnapped in the southeast for ransom. The Anti-Terrorism Act Amendment Bill prohibits the payment of ransom to kidnappers and imposes a jail term of at least 15 years for anyone who paid ransom to free an abducted person.
It outlawed the payment of ransom by victims' families, and it provided a jail term for those that contravene that particular section. And I think it also increased the penalty for kidnappers. Kidnappers feel that once they kidnap people, they pay ransom. But once there's no payment of ransom, of course they'll stop.
If an organ is set up to help in the implementation of that law, we will get some positive results, because it is important for those who are involved in kidnapping to be apprehended whenever they go for such activities and the victims set free.
The new law has made the crime of kidnapping punishable by death in cases where victims die.
Where a victim dies in the process, then automatically those that kidnapping will also for the death penalty. I know law enforcement agents are doing their best, our men and women in uniform, they are doing their best, but they should double up.
It is believed that making ransom payment punishable with lengthy jail sentence will check the increasing incidence of kidnapping and abduction for ransom in Nigeria. The lucrative nature of this crime introduced a new variant, self-kidnap, where some persons fake their kidnap just to extort money from their relatives. The Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022 also provides for the effective implementation of international instruments on the prevention and combating of terrorism and especially its financing. Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
Now, Kaduna State Police Command has arrested a 60-year-old Ali Shuaibu, an escapee from Kuje Correctional Center. He was arrested while on transit from Abuja to Kano. A statement by Kaduna State Police Command Public Relations Officer DSP Muhammad Jalige said the arrest was as a result of credible intelligence on the movement of the escapee reported to police. He said investigations are ongoing before handing Ali Shuaibu to Kuje Correctional Center. You're watching the network news on the NTA. We'll take some messages. The news continues shortly.
Hello everyone. Hope you people have linked your NIN. Don't be like my son Oshegun, who had to wait for his land to be disconnected.
Yes, so mommy, but I am now reconnected. Yes. I went to Airtel shop, enrolled for my NIN, and re-registered my line. Simple and short, no stress. It didn't end there. Airtel rewarded me with a no-vex bonus of 20,000 naira free airtime and data to access all my social media accounts. If you already have NIN, all you need to do is dial *121# or visit the Airtel website to get linked up. Get on it.
Airtel, the smartphone network. His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, will be on